message.
Breaking news on DC News Now. Virginia electing its first woman governor, Abigail Spanberger, the projected winner in tonight's election. Her message to Virginians.
And we are getting reaction from voters about the results from tonight. Hear what they have to say coming up.
And calm winds overnight, but they will pick up tomorrow into the afternoon, along with warmer temperatures. More details on this and look ahead towards our at 7 day coming up.
The government shutdown nearing a record with day 36 now just hours away. What's happening in Congress and the new doubt over SNAP benefits.
All flights are grounding to a halt at DCA. Take a look. There were hours of delays from a bomb scare, and it forced passengers to get off the plane walking there on the tarmac.
We begin with breaking news tonight. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for DC News Now at 10. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. History made in Virginia with Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger, the first woman to lead the Commonwealth. Here she is speaking to her supporters earlier in Richmond. Take a listen.
And it is the honor of my lifetime to be elected the 75th governor.
The AP calling the race about an hour from when the polls closing, so pretty quick. And at last check, roughly 90% of the votes counted. It had Spanberger at 57%, Earl Sears 43.
And speaking of Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, she did concede in the race. She spoke with her supporters just a little while ago in Leesburg.
I want to say to our young people here, remember that life has ups and downs. You must never stay down. There is nothing down there. You must always rise. It's one life.
Earl Sears is Virginia's first female lieutenant governor and the first woman of color elected statewide. The Associated Press has also called the lieutenant governor's race for Democrat Ghazala Hashmi.
And let's take a look at the hotly contested Attorney General's race. The results are not called yet, still too close, but 93% of the votes are in. And it is a little bit more leaning towards Jay Jones with 52%, the Democrat there, over the incumbent and Republican Jason Miyares with 48%. Doing much better than the Democrats had feared here. Virginia, one of just two to have a statewide election since President Trump returned to the White House.
Giving the country a glimpse of voter sentiments a year into his presidency. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joining us live tonight. He's at an election watch party at the Backyard Grill in Chantilly.
And Daniel, how are things going out there? You've been chatting with a lot of folks. What are they saying?
Well, some people are happy and some people are not, of course. This has been quite a divisive election season with a number of negative ads on both sides, of course. We talked with two people tonight. One is a teacher from the Northern Virginia area. She says she is hoping that Abigail Spanberger focuses on issues relating to education, transgender youth, supporting them, and, of course, supporting teachers. Salaries as well. And we also talked with another gentleman here in Northern Virginia who says that he is not happy that Abigail Spanberger won, and he says that she does not represent the rest of the Commonwealth in his opinion. So certainly some people who are happy tonight and some people who are not so much. Here's what the two people I talked with had to say tonight.
It's too bad Spanberger won. She is the epitome of the deep state, career bureaucrat, which is Northern Virginia, and that's our ecosystem.
I'm very happy that Abigail won. I think it'll be a great 4 years. She'll help the economy. She'll make schools safer. So I'm very happy that she won.
Now, regardless of what these people think, there is history being made tonight, of course, with the first female governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So there is certainly something to be said about that. A lot of issues, especially with the Attorney General race there, some divisiveness, of course. People tonight telling me that they are still thinking about those text messages from Jay Jones. That race, as you were just saying before you got to me, very close. He is currently in the lead there. So that we will have to stay and watch. But regardless of the outcome of tonight, there will be changes coming to Virginia. We're live in Chantilly. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
History made tonight indeed. Daniel, thanks. Take a little closer look now at the election results.
And joining us now live in the studio is our Ben Dennis. And Ben, we got to say these numbers coming out with the actual results that matter from the polls is at the ballot box exceeding even the latest polls.
Indeed. It seems that Abigail Spanberger, according to the Emerson College poll that we have been talking about the last couple of days with our partners on the Hill, had said she was probably going to win by 11 points. Right now, it's roughly 13, closer to 14 points over the Republican nominee, Winsome Earle. About where we are right now, 94% of the vote right in now. Winsome Earle Sears at 43%, 57%, nearly 60% Virginians siding with the Democrat here. This is a contest that was handedly decided to Abigail Spanberger here. Now, exit polling had her again by double digits ahead, but it seems that margin is stronger than previously. No. Let's also take a deeper dive into what some of the top issues were in this race. It was the economy right here. And in a very distant second, we've got threats to democracy, 16.2%. And again, nearly 40% of people had relied on the economy. Following by healthcare as well, immigration and education. Take a listen to what voters had to say.
See a lot of families in my neighborhood being affected by different social issues, whether it's the SNAP benefits or jobs, especially in our area with the government jobs either being furloughed.
All right, we're having some difficulties with our Ben Dennis, but we're going to continue to monitor the historic election happening in Virginia.
We certainly will. And tomorrow morning, I will be on Sunrise on the Hill, bright and early, 8 o'clock with our friends Corey Smith and Hillary Howard during the 8 o'clock hour to break down tonight's election results. So it's going to be a cup of coffee type of morning, Susan.
You're going to do it well. I know you are. All right, we are just hours away from becoming the longest government shutdown on record.
Yes, senators voting down the same GOP-backed budget bill now for the 14th time. President Trump causing some more confusion for 40 million families who rely on federal dollars to pay for food. He now says he will not release SNAP benefits until the government reopens. This despite two federal judges ordering the government to do so, and a previous statement just the other day saying the administration would release half of the emergency funding.
Donald Trump is unlawfully withholding billions of dollars in SNAP benefits from 42 million Americans.
The Democrats are intentionally hurting American families, workers, and businesses with this shutdown to fight for free health care for illegal aliens and to appease their radical left-wing base.
The government shutdown goes into day 36 tomorrow, which will be officially the longest shutdown ever in history. In Montgomery County, tens of thousands of people are so concerned about losing their Medicaid coverage, which is health care. They're bracing for the impacts from the president's budget that has established a whole new set of eligibility requirements. So under the new policy, when you apply, you will have to document your work with 20 hours a week, and you're going to have to do that twice a year instead of just once annually.
We think it's like potentially 23,000 that could lose Medicaid eligibility.
This is scary. This is actually people that will die if we're not careful, and no one should want that.
Medicaid advocates say by doing these new requirements, it really removes so many people from health care. And the Health and Human Services officials saying that they will provide vital information and support to ensure those at risk can meet the requirements that are new in order to keep their Medicaid coverage, which goes into effect January 2027.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jackie Layer, and not a bad evening. It'd be out in line voting in Virginia.
Yeah, not too bad out there. I mean,
No.
we had a little bit of a breeze,
Right.
but now that breeze has, calmed down. As we look towards tomorrow, though, it's going to be warmer, but it's going to be windy, a little bit more on the breezy side compared to the day today. And we're talking temperatures out there right now. They are continuing to drop. We're seeing a lot of the area into those 40s already. Look at Manassas, already upper 30s there. But D.C., we're still holding to those low 50s, along with Hagerstown. We're lower 40s, though, up towards Frederick at this hour. But overnight lows tonight, much of the region will likely drop into those upper 30s. So it's going to be a colder start out there tomorrow morning. At least in D.C., though, only dropping back into those lower 40s along with Annapolis as well. But eventually we'll see those temperatures rebounding quite nicely. We'll see those highs right around 70 tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, one of the warmest days for the work week. However, we could see a high right around 70 on Saturday as well. But then we're looking at much colder temperatures as we get towards the start of the next work week. But let's bask in those 70s for the day tomorrow, though. It's going to be gusty, though, with those winds mainly out of the south and west. And that southwesterly wind will be allowing those temperatures to really warm up out there for your Wednesday. In terms of those wind gusts, though, they could be on the stronger side, especially for areas north and west. We do have some wind advisories that will go into effect tomorrow afternoon. So we're looking at some wind gusts in excess of 30 and close to 40 miles per hour for parts of the area out ahead of a cold front. I'll have more details on that cold front and yet another few cold fronts in that 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.